Hello, hello. Welcome to part 2 of the Embodied Mission Masterclass. And welcome back for students who are back to school this week. My kids went back last week. It is a time that you can make some changes because with back to school, with the energy of fall coming, a lot of people are feeling a shift in the air. I know that our nervous systems, because we have been primed from early childhood, that this is a time where you're going back to school, where you're starting a new grade. It's a great time to start a new mission. It's a great time to refocus a current mission, to try something new. And so this masterclass falls in that perfect season. And with the fall energy, what you can see is in nature, we see the changing of the leaves, we see preparation for winter, we see an abundance of harvests and veggies. I go to the farmer's market or to Ottawa Farm Fresh, so those are my friends. So if you guys are looking for some wonderful organic local veggies, they are a great place to go. And there's just so many veggies that are out right now. It's so pretty and beautiful. So with all this shifting of energy, it's different from if you think about the summer, we've always heard of like the lazy day, the dog days of summer, where the kids are off school, where they're just playing and the temperature is hot and humid and you don't want to move a lot. You just want to relax. And so this shift allows you, if you're working with the energetic shift of the external environment and your own internal motivation and shift from your mission combined, they can take you to a different level. You can choose at any time to change. And if you choose to change at a time where the energy around you and the environment around you is great for change, you get an extra boost. In Chinese metaphysics, we use the environment. You guys have heard of feng shui, the environment to allow to create the energy that you desire for whatever it is that you wanted to do. So if it's more wealth, more relationships, we're looking for a better business, you would set up your environment such that the external chi or energy is in a good space for what you want to create. So all that being said, now is a great time for the external and the internal environment to line up so that you can get further ahead quicker. So how have you been doing since our last masterclass? I was asking you to come up with a mission for yourself, whether it be big, like changing the world, whether it be small, like learning a new skill or becoming more confident or becoming, your homework was to come up with a mission. And then part 2 of your homework was to come up with skills that you have already developed or that you would like to develop. This is a reminder that this masterclass is for you, because other people would have seen this masterclass. I sent it out in my emails, and only those that this spoke to would have registered. And so that's why I know you were meant to be here. So welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. And whether you're here, you know the reason why you're here, or whether it's something that's unconscious, know that there is a search for more, that you're looking in some area of your life for more. And it could be coming from any amount of different places. Some people feel like they're here because they're lacking in something. So let's say you want more money, you desire to have more money, you desire to have the relationship, the healing, and you don't have it right now. So you're in search of that. For others, you may be, I'm in a really great place, I'm in a wonderful place, and yet I know there's more. That's actually the walk of evolution, is being so grateful for where you are, and then knowing that it is still a part of who you are to desire more. You don't just stop learning, right? You are designed to want to continue to learn. And just like when you're born, you desire to move, you desire to crawl, you desire to grow, that same coding that it's in the flowers and in the trees in nature to grow is also encoded in your desire, that same desire for you to want more money, to want to be in the relationship that you desire, to heal, to learn, all the things. It's the same code. And so we're not designed to be satisfied for a long time because of that constant growth and evolution. We're always looking for more. And not even it's from a place of desiring of more. It's not that you're not grateful. You can be grateful and still want more, right? Because even if you work out and let's say you have desire to have a strong body and you go to the gym, you don't get to a point where you can just stop going to the gym and it will be there. You need to maintain that. You have to tend to it. You need to help it grow. The things that only need to be used once, like, or repaired once, are things that are broken, that need to be fixed. So if I smash my cell phone, then that needs to be fixed, right? However, you are not broken. You do not need fixing. And so a lot of people come into this personal growth world thinking, okay, I need to be fixed, but you don't. It's just a connection that needs to be restored. So for instance, if I'm talking to you on my cell phone and I'm driving, so I'm connected to my car phone. Let's say I'm not talking on the cell phone, but I'm connected to my car phone or the Bluetooth and we're talking. And then all of a sudden our call gets cut off. I'm not going to launch my phone out the window and say, oh, there goes the phone. It's broken. No, I'm probably thinking, okay, I might be outside of the cell phone tower. I might need to, the call might have just dropped. Maybe it's a connection on your end. I call you back again. That's it. I maybe go down a little bit down the road and then call you back. So it's not broken and you're not broken. It just, a part of you needs to reconnect with who you truly are. So it's about reconnection. It's not about fixing something that's broken. And so what that means is if you're not fixing it, you're tending to it. It's not that you get injured once and then you never get injured again for the rest of your life. You're constantly moving and a person in action. And so there's always going to be that probability or that chance that something's going to happen. But it's not because you need fixing. It's because you need a reconnection, right? And so wanting more is to develop a different connection with another version of who you are. It's not coming from a place that I need to be fixed. So that desire for wanting more, that is in you and it's supposed to be there. What we tell people though, is that, okay, so you go to school and then you're done. You don't need to learn anymore. That's the unconscious thing that we ask kids. What did you learn in school today? What did you learn? What are you doing now? And then all of a sudden we stop asking them, what did you learn today? As if they're done learning, as if we're done learning. And yet, if you notice, all along in your life, you've always wanted to learn more, right? You wanted the next promotion, the next challenge, the next job, the next skill that you desire. Even if you can snowboard, maybe you want to snowboard better. Maybe you want to try to ski. Maybe you speak a language and you want to get better at it. Maybe you want to learn another language. There's always another area of possibility and growth for you, another mission that you can take on. So either you have a huge mission and it takes you your entire lifetime to achieve that mission, or you have all these little missions along the way. Either way, you get to your destination. Whether it's 3 small missions or 1 big one over time, we always get to our destination. So it is a myth that you can stop learning after you're done school. Imagine, we don't tell children, you go to school because you need to be fixed, right? There's something wrong with you. That's why you're going to school. And that's also why we don't learn too. It's not because there's something wrong with you that you need to keep learning. We tell people, the children, you're going to school so you can learn, so you can experience more. And that's same as you. You try new experiences so you can learn more. Not because you're coming from, you're broken. And so our mission is to grow and evolve and get deeper reach more levels of states of consciousness as we go. So when it say, pick a mission, pick something that resonates with you, and then you take steps towards it, and the path is going to reveal itself. That's all. All it is deciding, okay, this is what I want to do, and then I'm going to take a path towards that. Now the question is, can you hold your mission? Your mission, once you decide on something, or once you go in a direction, you're going to get tested. And it's not because you are not good enough. Like the universe doesn't say, okay, I'm going to test to see if you're good enough. It says, I'm going to test you to see if you can hold the mission. Because the world doesn't need us to fail at our mission. It needs stories of people who are succeeding in spite of the odds. It needs stories that it could be done easily. The world needs stories that of the dreamers, of the visionaries that have succeeded in creating Disney, creating, you know, all the things that Apple, creating the things that we see. The world needs proof of that so that other people can say, oh, I want that too, or I can do that too, or I can even do that better. The world doesn't need the lottery winners who lose all their money the next day, because then that's not good for the world, right? So you get tested to see, can you hold the vision? Can you hold your mission? And the ordinary ones, people, there's nothing wrong with being ordinary. The ordinary people, regular people, will say, maybe, sometimes, depends. It depends on what my grandmother or my aunt or whatever, Aunt Susie says about me. It's easy to hold the vision when no one says anything bad about you. Another thing to hold the vision when other people are saying, maybe I wouldn't do that if I were you. Or what if, you know, what if they think this of me? What if, you know, your mother is really upset at you for taking this part of your mission to the next level? Can you hold the vision then? Can you hold your mission and what you want to accomplish despite your external circumstances and your environment? Can you hold that, your internal resolve? That is what makes you strong. And so the test comes, can you hold that? You say you want to start a business and half your family disagrees with you. Can you hold that before you even start the business? Because when you start the business, even more people are going to disagree with you. And if you can't hold it now, what makes you think you're going to hold it later? A lot of the times we'll say, oh, when I have more money, then I will be able to do this. When, like, I won't need external validation anymore. When I have the relationship I desire, it won't matter to me what other people think. But the mission is, can you hold that before it even happens? Can you not need the external validation before you have the money? Can you not need the feedback, or let's say validation from your partner before you have the partner? Can you hold the test of, can you pass the test of holding on to your vision and your mission before it comes true? And if you can, the universe says, bam, there you go, because it knows you're going to be able to hold it. And so what's required for growth is being able to hold on to that vision and mission internally, and then externally surrounding yourself in an environment in which it allows you to grow. When you're growing different crops and different cornfields, it doesn't serve the world to just have your crops grow well and all the other ones around you growing poorly, because eventually the crops that are growing poorly will seep into your garden as well. What you want is for all of them to be strong, is for you all to have a good crop and to all have good fields, because then the soil, which enriches all the environments, will be rich. And so it's not only good for you to be the best, you want everyone around you to be the same as you, you want to be with other people who step into their own power, so that together you can move forward faster. You want to walk with the people who all are heading towards their mission and their vision. Because think of how much you can further ahead you can get if everybody is in a space where they're moving forward. And so usually when something external happens, an external environment, let's say an event occurs, the circumstances occur, you react to that event. And then when you react to it, you start thinking, and then you make it mean something about yourself. And depending on what you make it mean about yourself, it becomes a part of your identity. So take a big trauma, and then you use it to validate who you are. So for example, if you have as part of your identity, I don't matter, or I'm not worthy, and then you have a lunch date with your friend, and your friend cancels on you, if you have it in your identity that you don't matter or you're not worthy, then you would say, oh, well, they canceled on me because they didn't want to see me because I'm not worthy. I knew this would happen. No one ever wants to have lunch with me. I have no friends, yada, yada, yada. And all of that will validate your identity that you don't matter. Now, let's say you didn't have that as part of your identity and your friend canceled on you because they were sick. You'd be like, oh, well, they canceled on me because they're sick, right? The same event can happen for a person, and then multiple people can see it from different points of view. We see this all the time. That's where arguments come from, right? We say, well, this event, we're both having this conversation. I see it from my point of view. They see it from their point of view. And we don't agree. And so an argument ensues. And then because we're both trying to make ourselves be right, then we aren't actually we're not responding to each other, we're actually reacting. And then we make it mean something about ourselves. And because you don't want to go against your identity, then you must be right and they must be wrong. And then you're even further apart, right? We're so good at this. Now, if you source your power from an internal source, you decide that something needs to change. You decide, okay, I play a role in this. Something in this discussion, there's both of us speaking, and I am playing a role in the outcome of this right now. And then you create the change, because you know, if I take responsibility for the parts or the roles that I play, then that means I can create the change. If I make it somebody else's fault, if it's their fault that this happens, then I'm not in control of that change. Like I can't do anything about it because the power was given to them. But if I say, I'm responsible for this piece or this element, then I can change how I feel about it. I can change how I experience it. I can make a difference, and I have my power. I can stay in my power because I know that I can create the change. So we have the external, and a circumstance happens, and source that creates change. And then we have the internal source that you decide on a mission, you decide on something within you that creates a change, different ways to change. And you require both when it comes to transformation and evolution. So remember, when you declare something like a mission to the universe comes back with the test. How serious are you, your mission, right? What are you willing to see? Like, how much are you willing to see it through until the end? How willing are you what are you willing to battle to get to the other side? What happens to your mission when you stumble? What happens to your mission when someone tells you they don't like you? What happens when you go on a date that, and you're looking to meet the person of your life and it goes horribly? Who are you when that happens? That is the test. Who are you being when what you fear shows up? When the person that you don't want to find out, what your new business is, and because they're going to say something, who are you when they actually say something? That's your test. So that no one derails you from it once you get it. It doesn't serve the world for you to be derailed at every single corner, because then it'd be like squirrel, 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 right? And we wouldn't get anything done. So we need people who are strong in their mission and strong in their self-leadership and strong in what they believe in. And so, oh, someone's coming in. Sorry, I just added another person in. They were coming in. Hi, Melissa, how are you? So another way when we're given a mission is, we talked about the tests that we receive, right? Who are you being when something goes wrong? Who are you being when something goes right? Because it's very easy to celebrate that your mission and that your vision is on track when things go right, right? The clients that you want come in, the things fall into place. Who are you being when everything's going well? Well, you're in celebration. It's in the chaos, it's when everything goes crazy that it tests who you really are. And that's why you're given the test of the universe. It's when everything is going sideways, everything is going wrong at the same time, that you decide, okay, this is who I'm being along the way. That's the important thing to remember. You declare something to the universe, and there's going to be a test. Can you hold it? Who are you being through the test? Who are you being in the space between, in the void between who you are and who you want to be, between the start of your business and getting it started, like off the ground? Who are you between one door closing and another one open, one job ending and another one beginning? There's always a last time for everything, right? The last time you go on a first date, the last time, especially at the office, I see my patients. Of course, some of them I see on a regular basis, and some they may come in for a couple visits and then they say, see you next week, and you don't see them. You don't know when the last time is going to be. And so endings don't have to be a terrible thing. We just know that they end, right? It'll be the last time you went to a high school, last time you went to university, last time you went, for anything. There has always been a last time. And so you just let it go just like that and say, this is just the last time that I did this. There's no guilt, shame, fear about it. It's just, this was the last time that this happened. And then there'll be a first time. But who are you in that void? That's the question. And who you're being in the void, a lot of us, when we go into the void, we look at, okay, how can I get to the other side the fastest? Like, how do I just jump and leap this whole void thing and just be who I want to be right now? And the answer is, how long can you stay in the void? Because the longer you can stay in that space in between, the more access you have. So the space in between is actually the magical space. It's where everything is possible. Once you land on the other side, there's only certain possibilities because you're already on the other side. But when you're not yet there, there's an endless possibilities of what can happen between now and where you arrive. Except we're so in a hurry of being on the other side that we don't enjoy being in the void, in that space where everything is possible. Like, will I win? Will I not? Will I get? That's the stuff the stories are made of. If you're looking at Hollywood, they're essentially just storytellers, right? If you just wanted the beginning and the end of the movie, then what about all the time in between? That's where the story is built. That's the void. And no one would watch it if they said, okay, it started like this, then it ends like this, and that's it. Nothing in between. And so what makes the good story is the space in between. And yet all we want to do is fast forward the good part. We want to be the multi-billionaire. We want to be in the relationship already. We want the certainty. That's what we're looking for. It's the safety and the certainty on the other side. But we don't have that now. You need to have the certainty in yourself that no matter where I am, it's going to work out because I am me and I make things work out. So it's an element of self-leadership. It is like they who lead themselves. That's what you get to work on in the void, is how can I lead myself? through this? Who am I being through this? And we don't have a lot of the obstacles and challenges as I guess they would be different growing up. So last summer, my kids, they played t-ball and they didn't even go to, like, they went to some practices. They didn't really try super hard or anything like that. And then they got this trophy at the end of it for participating. And while it was nice and they were happy about it, they didn't actually deserve it because the coach would say, okay, go throw this ball. And they're like, no, thanks, you know, and they're young, so it's okay. But they would be like, okay, now it's time to do this. And they're like, I'd rather go chase the birds. And then off they go running towards the birds. And it is a part of their age, and that's okay. But do they deserve a trophy for catching the birds? I don't know. Then there's swimming lessons. When my kids are always enrolled in swimming, but my daughter refused to jump in the pool. So she did not pass her level. She did not get her sticker because she didn't want to jump. She started crying because her brother had passed and she wanted the sticker. And we said, you don't jump, you don't pass. Like, this is swimming. You're going to drown if they keep passing you levels and you can't do the skills. Of course, she didn't understand that. She just knew, I said, no jumping in the pool, no pass. First session, next class, and that was the only thing she needed to pass. As soon as she sees the teacher, she jumps into the pool. Like, the teacher's in the pool, she jumped right in. That's it. All it took for her was to say, you need this challenge and then overcome the obstacle. But if there's no challenge there, it doesn't ask you to be the next version of yourself. And so the challenges are also the gift. We look at the obstacle and we're like, I don't want to go through an obstacle. Maybe it's too big. Oh, it's too much work. And the obstacle brings out the next level of who we are. So if you have a big mission, how many obstacles do you think are going to be in your way? So many, so that you can grow into the next evolution of who you need to become in order to achieve the mission. And it doesn't mean you're a vastly different person than you would be. The version of me that I am today is different from somebody, let's say 5 years ago. However, it's still fundamentally me. But maybe you add to who you already are. You take the pieces that are true to you, and then what is no longer serving you, you let go of and you add more. So maybe you add the more confident version of yourself. Maybe you add the leadership, the self-leadership component. Maybe you add more courage. Maybe you add your next level of fitness. Maybe you become the most, strongest version that you can be. You're still you fundamentally, but you're just adding the next level of who you want to be on top of that. And then it takes you to a different place. So it isn't that you completely change your identity, change who you are, throw all of who you are and all you know yourself to be out the window. You just add and make it improve upon the version that's already there. Just like in a computer system, you get the next, Apple, whatever, 5 million. But the obstacles are there to allow you to grow. Without the obstacles, you don't grow as much. So if you think of like a space mission, how many obstacles does one need to overcome? And they're all seemingly impossible. Like for me, in a way, I do not work at NASA, but if the amount of mathematics and physics that's required right now to launch somebody or a group of somebodies into space is huge, much more than, trying to start a business or to find a relationship or whatever it is that you desire. And remember that they don't do it alone. So you need teammates along the way. And so when you know your skills, which was part of the homework for day one, you know what you're good at. And it isn't to be good at everything, but when you know your skills, and then you can tell people, hey, these are my skills. And then you see, oh, I need people with these skills on my team. And oh, I know a person. Oh, I know a person. I know that person. Then that's how you start to build your team. You don't have to be good at everything, but you need to know what you're good at so that, and also the skills that you want to learn or the skills that you want to attract onto your team so that when they present themselves, you can be like, yes, this is the person who's on my mission, or who's on my team. And we need that strong faith in our mission. So if you have a mission to help heal people and your aunt says, I don't like that, that's all woo-woo, whatever. You go, okay, I'll change my mission. The world does not need that. You have a talent and a gift to heal people. That's what you're supposed to do. Then if that's a part of your mission, then we need people to say, it doesn't matter what other people say, this is a part of my mission and I'm moving forward. And from there, you build the team that you require to get into the next level of the mission. So there's the smaller personal missions, and then there's global mission. The bigger the mission, the more is required of who you are. In a personal mission, you want more for you and your family. The mission is for you. And that's amazing. That's good. And then there's another level where your mission is such that when you succeed, other people succeed as well. It's a collective mission. It's a mission that's even bigger. And then more people will be called to your cause. And because the mission is so big, then you activate the power of the collective. More forces, more resources will be pulled towards you because that's what you need in order to get to your mission. Okay. And remember that just because you're choosing a mission doesn't mean you can't change it along the way. Doesn't mean it doesn't adapt and grow. As pieces fall into place, as you take that next step up on the ladder and see more clearly, your mission might change. Right? So, and it's okay. You just go with the change. But all you need to know is you have everything right now in order to take the next step, the next evolution of who you want to be. And then from there, you will have all you need to take the next step. But you can't go up 20 steps. You go from one to the next to the next. Because if you skip steps, which is possible, you'll come back down to get them later. You'll eventually come back around. So might as well learn all the skills along the way. So when you ask yourself, what is needed in my vision? What can I do even more of? Do I need to become a leader? Do I need to work on my communication? Do I need to tap into my intuition even more? Do I need to embrace my courage at another level? Do I need to teach in another way? Your success is a byproduct of who you become. Your mission is a byproduct of who you become. God, Spirit, the universe will send you more resources for your mission, the bigger that it is. The more resources are required, the more you will get sent. And especially if you're doing something for the world. So there's doing something, a mission for you, or I'll do it from this way. For me, there's something in it when we say there's another person involved for you. And then there's a next level that you get to when you say it's for all of us, for me, for you, for all of us. That's the sweet spot. That is the God zone where all the resources are pulled to you, is when you use it for me, for you, for all of us. You move humanity forward. And then you will, at the end of it, have all the resources you need to complete your mission here. And because you completed your mission, humanity would have moved forward in some way while you are here. So we talked about in the first class, 2 scenarios. You know your mission and you require your skills to get it done. Awesome. And then you don't know your mission, but you are drawn to skills that that will actually be a part of your mission. You just don't know what the mission is yet. So if you keep doing the skills that you're drawn to learn, then your mission will show up and you will be ready for it. Now, in scenario 3, you don't know your mission and you also don't know what skills you need to learn. That's possible as well. So in the third scenario, you ask yourself, what would be required? What skills would be required of me to have a great life, to live a great life? Maybe it's, I need to lead myself. So you would go and study self-leadership. Maybe I need discipline. to keep my body strong and healthy and to be aware of the foods that I'm putting in my body. Great. Then you learn about self-discipline. Maybe it is your intuition. Maybe being a more intuitive person or tapping into your intuition even more and will take you to a great life, right? Because you'll be able to say, oh, I'm supposed to go here. I'm supposed to do that. How about the ability to listen or the ability to be courageous? Learn emotional intelligence, learn how to regulate your nervous system. All these things, if you have no idea what your mission is, you don't know what skills you want to learn, just go, if I wanted to live a great life, what would I need to know? How about emotional intelligence? How about being able to regulate your nervous system when other people around you might not be so regulated? How about learning financial literacy? That could help you live a great life, right? Sales. Compassion. If you don't have any idea of what your mission is, and you don't know what skills you want to learn, ask yourself. Well, here's the whole list. I just named a whole bunch that would be great skills for you to learn. And go in that direction, because let's say you work on your self-leadership and you become that next level of self-leadership. Then you start to trust yourself. And then you become one that can lead themselves. Would that be good for the world? Would that be great for the world if you could lead yourself? Yeah. So many of us, we lose self-trust. We lose trust in ourselves because we can't honor our own words to ourselves, not to others. Some of us might be great at honoring our word to other people, but we don't honor ourselves, our word to ourselves. So when you say, I'm going to exercise and you don't, when you say, and it's not that you don't because you can't, like your nervous system can't do it. It's you say, I'm going to exercise, and you decide, and you have the energy, you have the capacity, and you don't move anywhere. You just sit there in front of the TV. That's when you break trust with your body. You say, I'm only going to put good foods in, and then later on you're at McDonald's eating everything in the drive-through, then you lose self-trust, trust with yourself. Then when something happens big, let's say you have an illness or a disease, and you tell your body, okay, I want you to heal. We're going to heal together. Your body says, you didn't take care of me when you said you would. You didn't exercise me when you said you would. Why is your body going to believe you? Right? We think all of a sudden, okay, now that something's happened, this big thing has happened, I need to get myself to do this, but we haven't practiced that along the way. And so self-trust is doing what you say you're going to do. And that also will allow you to, that will cause you to make less promises, right? Because you're only going to make the promises that you know you can follow through on. And of course, life happens, right? We're not looking for perfection. I'm just saying, if you said, I am going to exercise 3 times this week, did I do it most of the week? If I went back the whole year and I said, all right, I wanted to have exercise 3 times a week, and I did it every time except for, a few weeks that I was on vacation. Good job. Then you build the trust in your body and in your nervous system. And when you say go, your body says, all right, I'm going to go. It's a mental toughness. And so these are all skills needed to cultivate a great life. Learn. If you don't know what you want to learn, go and do that. All you need is the next step. So my question is, what is the next step for you? What are you being called to do? Since most of you are watching on replay, I want you to email me your answers to what is your next step? What are you being called to do? Okay. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing another immersion called Embodied Worth. We're going to be discussing worthiness, self-leadership, one who leads themselves. And for those of you who've done my previous immersions, you know how awesome they are. We had embodied identity, embodied wealth, and every single one of them has been better than the one before. They've all been so fun. So if you would like to, I'm going to be putting the link if you want to join us for Embodied Worth in a couple weeks. And then I'm also celebrating this week in the Daily Dose of Healing, 365 training. That means for the last, I've done 365 trainings, so every single day, almost, for the entire year. I did not do a couple when I was on vacation earlier this year. But can you imagine that? I started this thing going, all right, let's see how, we'll probably make it a few months, and then I don't know if I'm going to run out of things to say in every single day. But I have done 365 of them, like training every single day. I didn't even know I had that much to say. And so I want to thank you guys, because I know some of you are on here from there. And it has been so much fun. And we're going to go ahead and go into our next 365 days. Who are you going to be a year from now, having worked on all the different trainings that we have done over the last year? And so if you wanted to come into the Daily Dose of Healing, it is a membership and you get a training every single day. This month, every month we have a theme. This month is about the next level of self-worth. And so all the trainings this month is going to be about worthiness, which ties right into embodied worth. That is the immersion. And so if you decide to come in during this week to the Daily Dose of Healing while we're celebrating our our full 365 trainings, then the $99 for the month, it also includes the embodied worth immersion. So normally you would pay $99 for the Daily Dose of Healing and another $99 for embodied worth. But because we are celebrating, then you get it all included. So that is, the links for that will be sent out on the replay. So if that's something that interests you and you feel like that could be a next step for you in learning, in learning the skills required for your vision and your mission, then we will see you there. Any questions? Anything you would like to ask? You can go ahead and either unmute yourself or type it into the chat. And if not, then I'm watching you on the replay, then you can email me. You can send me an email, respond to this, and we will see you then. Next month, there will be another free masterclass. I haven't figured out what it is yet. That'll be in October, and you will always get the emails for that. All right, so I don't see any messages coming up. And so we will say goodbye. All right, have a great day.